Okay, you ready to go? All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the City Council of Universal City, Texas. It is Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. I'll call this meeting to order now at 6:31 p.m. and call for a quorum check, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Neville.
Here.
Councilmember Buck.
Here.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Here.
Councilmember Najarian.
Here.
Councilmember Shelby.
Present.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Here.
Our quorum is present, we shall proceed. The invocation this evening will be given by Councilmember Goolsby. I'll lead us in the pledges afterwards, so would you all please stand.
Please bow. Lord, we want to thank you for this day that you've given us. We want to thank you for all of our citizens that showed up tonight, for the people that are out there working, and those that are enjoying the evening. Lord, we ask that you be with us tonight as we make decisions. Help us to do what is best for our community. Lord, we ask that you be with our first responders, our military, and their families. Keep them safe, keep them comforted. In your name, amen.
Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening as the festivities are going on outside, so we'll try to expedite this as much as we can, but we do have some business we need to cover this evening, so that's why we're having our council meeting. I want to especially recognize Councilmember Buck, who's with us remotely. Our prayers are with you and your family, Stephen, for the loss, and we hope that you'll be able to not only feel the loss, but celebrate the life of your father as well. Thank you, Stephen, for joining us. Appreciate it. Okay. First item on the agenda this evening is to consider the minutes of the Tuesday, November 15th regular meeting. Move for approval. Motion made by Mayor Neville, second by Councilmember Najarian. Any discussion? All right, call for the vote then, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Neville.
Aye.
Councilmember Najarian.
Aye.
Councilmember Buck.
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
That motion passes. We'll proceed now to our next item, which is citizens to be heard. It's a time provided, as you can see, for citizens to address council on issues or concerns. We don't take any action on it. We certainly welcome the input from our citizens. And we do have one individual that has signed up this evening, and that is Mr. Rick, is it Munch? Mensch. Rick, please come forward. Give us your name and address for the record.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Merry Christmas. My name is Rick Mensch. I live at 110 Laurel Lane, which Laurel Lane backs up just off of Kitty Hawk, or near where Kitty Hawk dead ends into the Civil Creek bed. So I'm really close to where the new development, Civil Oak Crossing, is going in. I walk that area pretty much every day. I like walking back in that wooded area. And I have a number of concerns about it, and I'm hoping you'll consider what I bring up tonight. I did fill out these concerns, and I sent it on the Fix-It form, and I sent it to the Code Compliance Department. I think that's the proper department that would handle my concerns. And it's regarding the amount of litter and trash that is accumulating in that area. If you go back in that area, you might not see it if you're driving along the road, but all you got to do is walk back in the wooded area a little ways. They're building some new homes, are starting to pop up near the trailers. And the area behind those homes, it's like the construction workers, when they're taking their breaks, they're doing their lunches, there's no trash cans around, and they're just throwing their bottles, cans, trash everywhere. And it's accumulating down that dry creek bed, which of course runs down eventually. It's getting blown in some of the recent rains we've had. I think it's kind of washed some of that trash down near to the creek bed at the bottom. So there's no reason for this. I mean, why can't the home builders or developer or whoever it is in charge put up some trash cans, put up some dumpsters? I mean, these guys gotta have some place to put their trash. And if you walk down Kitty Hawk Road, down the hill toward the creek bed, and you look back to your left, in the wooded area, there was some road paving going on down the hill. There's a bunch of trash in there too. So I'm just, you know, if I was walking down the street here by City Hall and the building here, and every day I threw my Coke cans, my water bottles in the lawn out here, I wonder how long I'd get away with it. I'm thinking there's gotta be some ordinances or laws against litter and trash. So that's mainly my concern. There's also a broken sign, a big wooden broken sign as you go into that development that's been broke down and lying in the new sidewalk that was paved, blocking the sidewalk, and it's been there for weeks. And I'm thinking they can't even pick up their broken signs. So I know I'm out of time. I'm just not impressed with what's going on, and I'm hoping you guys will look into it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manager. Appreciate your comments. Okay, anyone else want to address council that didn't have an opportunity to fill out the form? You're welcome, certainly welcome to. Okay, all right, let's press on then to our business for this evening. First is tab number B, discuss and to consider resolution 359A. As you can see there, chapter 1 to 3, commissions, boards, committees, and authorities. Article 6, Citizens Advisory Commission, codified to amend the Mural City Code of Ordinances according to the setting of an effective date and setting an effective date. So, turn it over to you, Ms. Turner.
Thank you, Mayor. So when we were working on the Golf Course Advisory Committee, I went obviously to go and look up the enacting ordinance so that we could dissolve that committee and realized that there were a lot of other committees that had not been active for numerous years. So tabs B, C, and D are all of those items. I tried to be as concise as I could in the cover sheet so you knew why we were removing them from the Code of Ordinance. In effect, they never meet, so they should be just taken off the books.
So it's just kind of a little housekeeping,
Cleaning up.
cleaning up what we had before.
Yes, sir.
Move approval.
Okay, motion made by Councilmember Vaughan.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Najarian. Any further discussion? All right, call for the vote, please, Chris.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
Councilmember Najarian.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Neville.
Aye.
Councilmember Buck.
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes. Let's move to tab number C then. Again, this is to discuss and to consider ordinance 410-B-2022. And it's about commissions, boards, committees, and authorities. Article 12, Committee for the Promotion of Universal City, codified to amend the Universal City Code of Ordinances and setting an effective date. First reading on this one as well. So this is the same one, but this now takes care of the Committee for the Promotion of Universal City.
Move to approve.
Second. Councilmember Shelby, second Councilmember Goolsby. Discussion? All right, call for the vote, please, Chris.
Councilmember Shelby.
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Neville.
Aye.
Councilmember Buck.
Aye.
Councilmember Najarian.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
That motion passes, so we'll move on to tab number D, which is also considered ordinance 642-A-2022. It's an ordinance to repeal ordinance 279A, and it's related to the Disaster Emergency Services Committee. And this will be the first reading on this one as well. Any discussion, anyone?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Councilman Goolsby, second by Mayor Pro Tem Neville. Any discussion further, anyone? All right, call for the vote. Chris, please.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Neville.
Aye.
Councilmember Buck.
Aye.
Councilmember Najarian.
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes as well. It moves on to tab number E then, which is to consider ordinance 308-C-2022. This is the one related to official full stop sign locations at certain street intersections in the city of Universal City, Texas, revising certain sections and paragraphs accordingly, providing severability, and setting an effective date. So first reading, so Ms. Turner.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start with the stop sign section first. As you know, we have 3 subdivisions that are under construction. Orchard Park, which is on the other side of 1518, on the other side of the creek. Cibolo Crossing, which is at the end of Kitty Hawk before you get to the creek. And the Vaughan subdivision, which is down on Westburg. And so all of them have street signs that are in place. And so they need to be identified and into our code book so that if the officers catch somebody speeding through, rolling through, whatever, they have the authority to pull them over. And then the other one that we have is which is a yield sign that is going to a stop sign, and that is at the intersection of Kitty Hawk and Sunrise Canyon, where you have the Y. It's been a yield sign since it was installed, but now with the additional traffic that will be coming through there, we think it's more prudent to make it a stop sign.
Okay, let me take a motion and we'll open it up for discussion.
Move to approve.
Second by Councilmember
Second.
Goolsby. Second by Councilmember Shelby. Okay, discussion, Ms. Goolsby.
Thank you. I spoke with the chief outside earlier, and he was actually excited about some of these,
Yes.
stop signs, and he has seen these and approved
Yes,
these
sir. We
locations.
went over them with the police department, sure.
It wasn't just Randy. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Vaughan.
You have to educate me because I'm not up to speed on traffic codes, but do we get to choose whatever signs we want, wherever we want to put them, or is there some rules that we have to follow, or we can't put a stop sign here, or we can put a stop sign here?
So there is a municipal traffic, I just call it by the initials, what does the whole thing stand out for? Municipal Unified Traffic Code, and another letter in there as well. And so we follow those regulations, and it indicates where and when a stop or a yield sign can be put in, but we have some latitude where there is a change in traffic pattern to take it from a yield sign to a stop sign.
So we don't have to have like a traffic study or anything, or like some really fancy credential persons?
For a traffic light, we always have to have one, but not necessarily for a stop sign or a yield sign.
Great.
Mr. Chairman.
Looking at all these, I know the areas specifically. I just would like to know the thinking on changing Kitty Hawk and Sunrise Canyon. Do we really feel that's going to help out because of the more traffic?
Yes, we're changing that one because you're going to have an increase of traffic. So instead of making the conversion later when that additional traffic comes, we're doing it now. That way everybody that's going to be moving in and used to it, because it's low volume now, but it's going to increase. The other reason is when we make that thoroughfare for emergency services through the creek, we're going to want that traffic to stop when fire and police have to make emergency calls to go to the ETJ area.
Thank you. I'll explain.
Okay.
Was the police department part of this discussion?
Yes, Mr. Goolsby asked that question, and the answer was yes. Yes, sir, they were a part of it.
And they were from TIP?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Shelby.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a clarification on these, are these all four-way stops?
No.
No.
Okay. Which ones, so like Kitty Hawk and Sunrise Canyon is gonna be a two-way, I'm assuming. You're not gonna stop.
So we're not
Sunrise Canyon.
stopping the Sunrise Canyon traffic.
You're stopping
It's the major arterial. Their continued driving is the one on on Kitty Hawk Road that are going to be stopped.
So you're only putting one stop sign, so the traffic coming, and I apologize, as long as I've looked at the neighborhood, I never knew the name of that street, that turns to the right there.
Not Shook, but the one up from Shook.
So if you
Yeah,
turn left and go down, you turn left and go down Kitty Hawk, or you can turn right and go up towards
The other
Willis.
street.
Yeah, so if you're coming up from Kitty Hawk and you get to Sunrise Canyon's to the right, Kitty Hawk's to the left, you're going to stop right there.
Everybody else that is coming down Sunrise Canyon already has a stop sign.
No,
That's what you're asking.
no, I'm asking if you're coming out of the neighborhood.
It's Mill Ridge Road.
Thank you.
Mill Ridge has a stop sign.
Mill Ridge has a
It already
stop
has a
sign.
stop sign.
All the other neighborhoods have stop signs.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Thank you, whoever knew Mill Ridge. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification, or you just looked it up, didn't you?
I looked it up.
The power of technology, right? Very good. Okay, over the years, we've had lots of discussions about these, and I can remember when there was an argument to put stop signs at Gothic and Mount Olympus on UC Boulevard. There was a lot of contention there, and I think it was the proper move. And there was a time when they wanted to put stop signs at Cordova and DeSoto in Coronado Village, and that was presented to council, and we said, you know what? No. Yield is plenty fine. We don't need a stop sign there, and so they did not have them. So this is just kind of a way to make sure that we're policing ourselves correctly. Remember that, Randy?
Yes, but I will advise you, there will be more yield signs coming to
Right.
convert, because in conferring with the police department, they are not even yielding. So they want to enforce these intersections where they're having trouble.
Right.
You'll start seeing some of these
Yeah, I
conversions.
just brought that up just to say that we've had this discussion
Yeah.
over the years about it. And I think most of the reason is for safety and especially for our first responders and the need for them as well. Okay, yes, one more question.
The Vaughan Villa, that's the new, I don't know if it's apartments or houses on Westburg.
The duplexes, yes, sir.
Yeah, is that gonna be a public street or is that gonna be a private drive? And
Well, it's intended to be a private drive. It will be a gated community. Anytime you choose to be a gated community, then your internal roads are private.
Okay, is there any concern about us putting a sign on their road that's gonna be private?
No, because the sign is actually at our right-of-way line. So we're forcing them to stop before they enter.
Before they enter onto this, from their private street, they have to stop before they enter onto the public street.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I believe it's the same way at Springwood.
So
They
we have
stop
a motion in a
on the
second.
private
Is there
street before they go to the public street.
any other discussion, anyone? All right, call for the vote then, please, Chris.
Councilmember Goolsby,
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Neville,
Right.
Councilmember Buck,
Aye.
Councilmember Najarian,
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Motion passes. Mr. Buck, I keep forgetting, I should look up at you to see if you have some comments you want to make. Are you good? I think Kristen's kind of monitoring a little bit. Okay, all right, gotcha.
I need
All right.
Councilmember Vaughan's vote.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good. Okay, so let's move on then to tab number 8, which is consider the FY 21-22 budget amendment, which is something we do every year. We take a look at the funding, and so I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Sidney.
Yes, sir. As you know, for those of you who have been here for a while, every year at the end of the year, we look back and we identify purchase orders that maybe have gone out and the invoices have not come in, or in this particular year, a lot of items that we had to order and they had such a long lead time that they're not going to be expensed in the fiscal year 2022. It's going to happen in 2023. And then also we have a lot of capital improvement projects which cover from one year to the next year. So what we've done is all of the department heads have sat down with Jessica, our finance director, identified their projects and where they are in that, and then they put their financial plan here. So we have Randy here because a lot of them are his capital improvement projects, and then Jessica is out there on
We can see you, Jessica.
Zoom, and so she'll be going ahead and making the presentation, and then I don't know if she can see the council, but if you have a question along the way, can you just say, I have a question? That way everybody that's on Zoom knows that we're stopping the
You can see us fine, right, Jessica?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. All right.
And Jessica will have to speak loud so everybody in the room can hear her.
Okay, I
Good
think,
evening.
over to you, ma'am.
Good, how are you? I can't see what screen Kristen has up, but, you should be looking at the general fund.
General fund is up.
Okay, perfect. So for the general fund, the 2022 budget for revenue was 18.3 million. There were no adjustments made, so it'll end at the 18.32 million. So moving down to expenses, and I apologize, I have to look down at the paper. Under the administration department, PEG channel supplies would be rolled forward, 156,000 for that, and then 54,000, about 55,000 for insurance and bonds. I believe that was a discussion for funding the deputy city clerk position, so that would roll forward. There were no changes to development services. Under finance, other equipment of $8,400 would be rolled forward. Municipal court and court tech, there were no changes. I apologize. Under municipal court, court tech rolled forward 52,000. General services, let's see, we have vehicles that were not expensed in fiscal year 2022, which was 75,000, and that was for a dump truck. Parks and Recreation. Apologize. The fire department, there were no changes. Vehicle and equipment, under other equipment, 13,000 rolled forward. That was for a key-lock system. Parks and Recreation, other contract services, for 81,000, that is for Veterans Park. And then park improvements, 287,000, which was for Cimarron Park. Nothing for the animal shelter or the library. And let's see. Oh no, sorry. Go down. And that is all of the adjustments made for fiscal year 2022. Revenue over expenditures for fiscal year 2022 prior to any adjustments was 156,000. After adjustments, excuse me, with the roll forwards, revenue over expenditures would be 1 million.
Any questions on general fund before we move to the
Anything on
next
general fund,
item?
everybody? We've had plenty of time to look at this, so.
No questions, go ahead, Jessica.
Mr. Buck, did you have a question?
Okay. Kristen, if you go to the debt service tab,
Yes, ma'am.
so there was actually no adjustments made to debt service. Revenue over expenditures remained the 30,375. Any questions?
No adjustments at all on that? All right, okay.
Okay. Under capital projects, under interest income, 17,000 was rolled forward. And nothing for grants rolled forward. Total revenues increased from 4.014 million to 4.032. Under expenditures within capital projects, we have road repair. Looks like 400,000, 2.3 million is rolled forward. Park improvements, 75,000 was rolled forward. 2016 road bond repair, 324 was rolled forward. East Aviation, which was rolled forward to the Kitty Hawk Lower Water Crossing Project of 1.7 million. Total expenditures for FY 2022 was 3.8 million prior to any adjustments. After adjustments, it was 3.2 million, leaving revenue over expenditures after adjustments of 791,000.
Any questions, anybody?
Any questions?
Question for Mr. Mayor, Stephen Buck.
Yes, Mr. Buck?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Jessica, all these road projects that carried over into 2023 for 2.39 billion. Perhaps Randy can explain which road improvement projects didn't get finished that are being carried on into 2023.
Sure, you have Kitty Hawk road improvements that are complete, but we still have to close out the project. So the money is being moved forward so we can finish funding that project. Red Horse Park, the parking lot, that project is also completed, but we still have to close out, which is a lot of it's retainage funds that need to be paid, last installments for last payment and the retainage. And then the Parkview, we just finished the Parkview project, and that is the last project. So all these projects carried over into the new fiscal year, which we are wrapping up now.
So what I understand then is that the projects have been completed, we just have to close out the invoicing that will take place for fiscal year 2023.
Correct. They either completed in September of our past fiscal year and right into the new October 1 fiscal year of this year.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, press on, please.
Kristen, if you could go to the utility fund.
Yes, ma'am.
Under revenue, there was no changes to revenue, started at 11.1 million, ended at 11.1. Under expenditures, under water development, water meters had 136,000 rolled forward. Under capital projects, water tank painting, 247,921 rolled forward. And under other equipment, 139,000 rolled forward. Annual water line rehab, 190, 330 rolled forward. And another annual sewer line rehab of 122 rolled forward. 2022 budget was 11 million. After adjustments, 10.2 million, leaving revenue over expenditures. After the adjustments, 872,000.
Comments, questions, anybody? Okay, Jeff, press on now.
Okay, and there's, Christine, can you go to stormwater?
Yes, ma'am. It's there.
Okay, there were no adjustments to the revenue, started at 794, ended at 794. Under capital projects for expenditures, Civil Oak Creek property, 51,000 rolled forward, and 2022 CDBG Westburg 2, 200,000 rolled forward. For Civil Oak Creek property, it looks like that was for fencing and gates, and the 200,000 is for Parkview. Total expenditures for 2022 budget was 1.2 million. After the amendment, 752,000, leaving revenue over expenditures of 42,000.
Any questions on stormwater? All right,
Questions?
golf course?
And then, Kristen, if you could go to the golf course.
Yes, ma'am.
There were no adjustments made to revenue or expenditures. The overall revenue over expenditures for fiscal year 2022 is 60,000.
Okay, are there any overall comments by anybody related to this, the adjustment? Yes, Phil?
So we talked about this, but just so you can clarify, this is amending 2022, and then you're gonna bring us a 23 amendment to increase 2023's budget for whatever it is that didn't
Yes,
finish
sir.
that you want to spend in 23,
Yes, we
right?
will.
Okay.
That is correct.
I don't really see a need to reduce last year's budget since it's already closed, but it doesn't do any harm. And it does set the table for that budget amendment if you bring it back later. If we did have this savings and then we're going to try to spend it in 23, we can compare the two and say how much we're spending on 23. But it also dovetails into our discussion next month about our reserves. And so this is taking a one-year look at what our savings were, but we also have other savings from prior years that we could also be contemplating for whatever projects we might need next year. So if we talk about that and come up with some kind of target, then that's more we can add to our street project or whatever else we want to. So,
From the general fund, yes.
yeah, so plug for January. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, anyone else? This is to consider, so this is an action item, so I will need a motion.
Move for approval.
Councilmember Shelby.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Goolsby. Any discussion on further, anyone? Well, call for the vote, please, Chris.
Councilmember Shelby.
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Neville.
Aye.
Councilmember Bub.
Aye.
Councilmember Najarian.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes unanimously. That concludes our business for this evening, so I'll turn it over to our city manager for her comments.
No comments, just want to get back to the festivities as quickly as possible.
Very good, okay. Fair?
Oh, thank you, sir. Sorry, I have a couple of comments. One, I would love to see us address the litter in the creek some way. If anything, it's going down and harassing the developer, the builder on a regular basis. I know that if it looks trashy, that brings property values down, and that's not what we're looking for. It's not why we approved all that, so.
So it's in the drainway, it's not actually on their property, but we are aware of what's down there.
And then if their signage is down, one thing that we harp on is if my contractor won't take care of the little things like that sign being down, then he's not taking care of my stuff. So, I mean, if we can yell at him about it, that would be great. I want to say thanks to all of those out there that are working their tails off to make tonight such an awesome event for our city. It was great. And then Ms. Turner, I appreciate you taking my call the other day about asking if we can get TxDOT to actually put those turn signs from Pat Booker heading towards Live Oak under 1604 so that people will know if it is a 2-lane turn or if it is not a 2-lane turn. It was at one point in time. Now, who knows? It's a free-for-all. TxDOT needs to get off their butts and do something about it. And if I need to call, I will. Just let me know. That's all I've got, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Neville.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. just what a great city we have to have a nice big public opening for our lighting of the Christmas tree and all the people that put in the effort that it would work, particularly with the city staff and all the volunteers. It was great to see all the people out there. Like I said, it's a little bit too warm for hot chocolate, but that's okay. Thank you, Aaron.
Very good. Paul?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I just appreciate everybody working out there tonight for this Christmas tree lighting, which we all love and appreciate so much. Thanks to Mr. Mensch for bringing the situation up there. I've driven that whole area and walked that area, and you know, the construction up there, the streets, the layouts, so beautiful. But it did dawn on me when you brought that up. Didn't see a single trash can out there, and yeah, they should really do something about that. Sounds like we're already on it, so I won't push that anymore. And just want to just say Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you very much. That's all I know.
Ditto, city manager. She said she wanted to get back out there, so.
Oh, okay.
I'll raise your
William?
marshmallow stand.
Good, thank you.
Okay, I just have a couple of quick items.
Mr.
Oh, Mr. Buck, I forgot you. You're on.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do have some comments. I just wanted to say congratulations on the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. I wish I could have been there. My lovely wife's not there. I had to go countdown in the entrance of keeping the short we talk about the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Thanks everybody out there. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Good. Look forward to your historical presentation at the next council meeting.
Next council meeting, Mr. Mayor, yes.
All right. Okay, the breakfast, pancake breakfast is coming Saturday. So everybody come on out and have a good time at the fire department. It's always a good occasion, a good chance to meet a lot of our citizens. And as far as the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, in 9 years, it's just developed, it's just growing and growing and growing. And I think it was a record time of getting sponsors. I think they opened it up and we had sponsors within like 48 hours. It was just about completely closed up. So there's a lot of enthusiasm amongst the businesses in our community. They love to participate in something like that where everybody comes out and just has a wonderful time and enjoys it. And Steve, your wife is out there. She's right with us right now, but she's going back out to enjoy it in a couple of minutes. So. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming this evening. Let's go on back out and enjoy the festivities outside and welcome Santa Claus. This meeting is now adjourned at 7:04.